Hey, this is Chad, the drummer extraordinaire from the Failsafe. It's going to be rocking this one solo for you today.
Sounds good, man. How you doing?
Good, man. I'm out here in Minnesota. We finally have a cool day, or a cooler day. We've had about a 10 to 12 day run of it being 90 plus degrees, so it's nice that you can go outside and not fry an egg on the concrete.
Man, right here in Kentucky is the complete opposite. We've been dealing with Mother Nature throughout the week.
Oh yeah,
But we eventually get back to some 80 type degrees weather. We probably won't get to the 90s until July, at least after the holiday weekend and such. But
gotcha.
I appreciate you calling in on behalf of the
Yeah,
band.
no
And
problem, man.
so the beauty of social media is that when you follow people of music, you get mutual friends. You get similar interests per se. So a
Yeah,
while back, I was getting some comments from the Failsafe. I don't know who's in charge of the Instagram account, but they left some comments on some posts that I made, and there's some positive comments, I should say. And I said, okay, it's the first time I see them leave comments on my posts. So let me take a look at the fellow safe and see what they all about. And then I hear some of the songs, and I like what I hear. Um, so
awesome, man. That's great.
so that's dope. So talk a little bit about how did the Failsafe became a band? How did what's the story behind that? How did that came to be?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, not an uncommon story. We were all actually in a previous band. Me, I was on drums. Jesse was obviously still on vocals, and then Kyle, our current guitar player, was on bass. And long story short, we just kind of had artistic differences with our guitar player, and we kind of went our separate ways. But the three of us really still wanted to make music together. We had this phenomenal bond and the ability just to really write really well together. And so Kyle moved from bass to guitar, which is where he belongs. And he's a great bass player, but he's a phenomenal guitar player. And then the riffs just started happening. Riffs turned into songs. Songs turned into more songs, and it grew very very quickly into kind of this thing that happened much faster than we anticipated. I mean, we had probably within a 6 month period time, we went from going like, hey, we should start a band together, a new band, to having 15 songs written and recorded in like a 6 month period time. It was crazy.
Hmm. So what's the story behind the Failsafe, the band name? What made y'all went with that for the name of the band?
There's really nothing special about it. We just kind of all collectively kind of came up with a list of names, and I believe it was Kyle that came up with the failsafe. And we're like, that we like it. It works. It's cool. We'll go with that. So there's no great story behind it. It was literally we just all kind of came up collectively with a list of names, and we just went with the one that we thought sounded the coolest. I wish there was a better story because I know sometimes there's cool stories behind band names, but
Yeah.
for us, nope. It was literally, yeah, that sounds cool. All right, we'll go with it. That's basically how it came to be.
Okay, that's fair enough. Just with multiple members of the band, obviously coming up with some names, and y'all got together on a name, and y'all went with it, and haven't looked back since.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing the bio on your Instagram page, and it's y'all can
Hmm.
follow them at We Are the Failsafe, and it says rock band from Minneapolis. For fans of Brain Media Horizon, Linkin Park, R.I.P. Chester Bennington, A Day to
Amen.
Remember, and I Prevail. Um, so,
Hmm.
um, so those I would assume are some of your musical influences. Would that be fair to say?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, we take a lot of ideas and the same theories and practices they have, from anything from their guitar tones to the structure of writing to their format of writing. They just really strike home with us, and we want to be on that same level of them one day. And so, we take a lot of notes and nod our caps to those guys, because they've definitely paved the way for our sound and our evolving sound. So 100%, all of those bands have been huge influences on us. I mean, we were fans to begin with, even
Yeah.
before the band started. But just once we kind of started writing and getting into it even more and more, um, the impact they have on us sonically, songwriting wise, kind of all the above was huge.
So with Linkin Park, obviously, um, just inspired a generation with the hip
Oh,
hop slash rock sound or new metal or however you want to
exactly.
categorize it. Linkin Park is just when they released Hybrid Theory back in the day,
Oh man, game
just
changer. It changed lives.
game changer. And Chester was the vocals and the singing vocals, and Chet and Mike Shinoda was the hip hop vocals. It clicked. It literally changed the generation, and it's still heartbreaking that Chester Bennington is no longer with us. I mean, I heard his passing through a radio station while I was at work, and I was hearing like Linkin Park songs back to back. I'm like, okay, that's something must have really happened, either good or bad. And then when the radio DJ announced that Chester died, I'm like, man, can't
Yeah,
be. Yeah.
that one hit hard. I mean, there was, unfortunately, we kind of went through a slew of passings. We had Prince died several years ago. Chris
Mm.
Cornell from Soundgarden died, not too far back either. But the Chester, I mean, that hit home. I mean, Linkin Park was such an influence, and just such an amazing band, and just their lyrics and their melodies and their combination of rock and electronics was groundbreaking at the time. I mean, no one was really doing it to the way they were doing it, and to have him pass far too soon, that one hit home. I mean, that one for me, at least personally, it struck a chord.
Yeah, and that that was quite a heartbreaker. And given what they've meant to so many fans, and Chester was definitely going through a lot, but he still managed to pull through with the band and continue to put out hit songs and platinum albums and tour around the world. Um, I felt for the rest of the band, and especially Mike, who
Yeah.
that was it's more than just multiple guys in the group that do songs. That was a brotherhood. That was a camaraderie.
Oh yeah.
And for and Mike, since Chester's passing, is kind of doing his own thing, and it feels like Linkin Park is no more, and you're not gonna replace Chester Bennington. Now, there's just
No.
no way, no how.
Uh.
So Shinoda, he got to do his own thing, and he did the best he could do given the circumstances. So R.I.P. again, Chester Bennington.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And just a talented guy, just a likable guy as well, just a good dude. Um, so you got some songs out. The Failsafe got a song out recently. We'll get to your upcoming release, Us Against the World, in just a bit. But let's focus on the recent release, Until I Break. That's the latest
Hmm.
single. It's out on all the digital music platforms. Talk about just putting that song together. What made you guys decide to make this the first release of 2021?
There was really no particular reason why we released this one in 2021, like the first release. It just kind of happened to fall in our lineup of songs. So our goal is to release a new, at least a new song every 4 to 6 weeks. because we got to stay fresh, we got to stay relevant, and like we're releasing a new song again on the 22nd, and then about a month and a half from that we're releasing another song, and so there was not necessarily like a rhyme or reason why we did that one first in the in terms of it being a first release for the year. It just happened to fall in line with that song. Just happened to be the next one up for release. But for the song itself, how it came together, again, Kyle, our guitar player, and Jesse, our singer, they just kind of have this beautiful symbiotic writing relationship to where those guys will go into a room under lock and key and just come out with something magical. And then obviously, we put our own, I'll put my own twist on drums on it, and bass will put their own twist on bass on it. But those two guys just, you know, 85 to 90% of the songs that we have are created by those two being in a room and just coming up with just something awesome. I mean, the guitar playing obviously comes from Kyle's perspective, and then the electronic elements come from Jesse's perspective primarily. And God, I remember when I first heard that demo, I was like, I cannot wait to do this song. It was an exciting song. I was super pumped about it the second I heard the demo. When they're like, "Hey, we got a new song idea," I listened to it over and over again. I was like, "This is awesome," which is not uncommon. I mean, I get excited about every single we release, just because I just think they're great. But that one in particular really uh, got my juices flowing.
And I played the song a little bit earlier today, and
Mm-hmm.
I definitely like the track. Good feel to it. A lot of adrenaline on this song, and I really, really like it. So,
Awesome.
so definitely go check it out until our break from the Failsafe, and that is available on all digital music platforms right now. It's got over 11, close to 12,000 um, views or streams for that matter. It is the most
Yeah.
popular, at least according to Spotify. I got the numbers in front of me. So, in Us Against the World, that is their next single. It is
Yes.
you can pre-save it on Spotify right now, and it will be in your, I guess, your release radar come June 22nd. At least that's I
Yeah.
think how it works. I
Yep.
usually
Yep.
just I usually just follow people and just hope that it's on the radar because there's always some people that I missed out on. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so so let's talk about Us Against the World, which is the next single. Um,
Yeah.
as far as definitely going to be a different feel compared to Until I Break. So, talk
Correct.
about putting that song together. As far as just putting that song together, as far as because it's definitely different feel to the song. Talk about that
Yeah.
track.
Yeah, no argument. It's definitely a different vibe and a different feel. I mean, it still kind of has our twist on it, but this was actually the first song where we all wrote it collaboratively,
Mhm.
in the sense that because I have a commercial studio and then I have a home studio, and so we all gathered at my home studio, and Benno the bass player had the initial idea for the riff, and then we all just kind of it took us about 3 hours to kind of crank out the skeleton, but it was super fun because it reminded me of like writing back in the old days. Well, not like I'm that old, but like when you got in a room with your band and you would crank out ideas, versus nowadays with the blessing of digital technology, I could crank out a demo by myself using a software, send it to someone else. They could put their ideas on it, send it back and forth, and kind of do it that way. This one had a more kind of like older songwriting approach to it, which was fun. And then kind of the driving force behind the song actually is that a good buddy of mine in California is a professional wrestler. And I was just talking to him. I was like, hey, man, what if we did an entrance song for you? And he was all about it. And so that's what drove the idea, the concept, the lyrical idea behind the song was for a buddy of mine who's a wrestler out in California who's going to be using this now as his entrance theme. So it's kind of got that much more groovier. It's a little bit slower in tempo. Um, I don't want to say kind of like this. It's got like this. groove is the best way I can describe it. It's probably one of the more groove oriented songs that we have in terms of the guitar line, the bass line, the feel of it. And it was just that's probably for me at least one of the more fun songs that I've had the pleasure of making with these guys because it was so collaborative and everyone was on board. And it's different, and I think you need to be a little bit different sometimes to kind of keep interest. Because if you just keep putting out the same stuff, you're going to get stagnant.
Yeah.
So, having this be a little bit different for us, I think is a very good thing.
So, with that being said, you mentioned that a wrestler is going to be using this as a theme song, and
Correct.
I am indeed a wrestling fan, and I used to
Nice.
do a wrestling radio show um, a long time ago. But I
That's
grew
awesome.
up as a wrestling fan, like pre-Attitude Era, and I
Oh yeah.
still watch it every week to this day. That has to be awesome, knowing that this is a brand new song, and you got a wrestler that's going to use this song as a theme song. So
Yeah.
so whoever wherever he goes, whatever wrestling show he goes, fans are going to hear that song. So what does that
Exactly.
feel to have a wrestler you reached out to you and say, "Hey, I like your music, man. I like to use this as a theme song." What's that feeling?
It was a great feeling. I mean, it was great that he wanted us to do it. Because I like you. I'm an old school wrestling fan. Like back in the day, where like Papa Shango had the curse on the Ultimate Warrior, and that crazy stuff. Like that's when I started watching wrestling back then. That one, man, that one still scars me. I remember that feud, and that one spooked me. But just the impact of music and wrestling is huge because there's so many iconic songs that are related to wrestling. I mean, The Undertaker, for crying out loud, that gong and that thing, and then with Triple H, with the Motorhead, the King of Kings, and so on and
Yeah,
so forth. So the ability to be in that position to where like we're creating the vibe and the persona and the definition of this wrestler based just solely based on music was a great honor and really fun to do and very I'm proud. Just being a wrestling fan, I'm just very proud to be like, you know what? I got to create an entrance music for a great wrestler who happens to be a buddy of mine. And that's what people are going to identify him as when he comes out to the ring. People are going to hear that initial guitar riff and be like, "Oh, that's Dave. That's Dutra. He's coming down." It's a great feeling. It's really really cool.
so what's the name of the wrestler so I can get in touch with that guy?
Yeah, his name's Dave Dutra. He goes by Dave Dutra. He's an independent wrestler out in California,
Mhm.
and he just kind of switched up gimmicks.
Okay.
He's now, oh shoot, what is it like? It's like the Warrior King or the Battle King. That's what it is. Dave Dutra, Battle King, Dave Dutra. Um, and me and him go way back. We've been friends since high school, and I've been following his career for forever. And he actually had a little stint on AEW a couple months back. I was so proud of him to flip on
Mm.
AEW and to see him wrestle on AEW. It was a proud friend moment to see that happen. So that was awesome. Unfortunately, he lost, but at least he got a chance to be on a
Yeah.
major platform like that. So that was super cool.
Yeah, shout out to AEW. They are really doing some
Oh
incredible
man.
things. I just watched Double or Nothing a couple weeks ago with a
Hmm.
friend, and man, phew, it's very refreshing. Just
Oh, it's awesome.
that's yeah, it's very refreshing. Cody, I'm a hardcore Kenny Omega fan. Like that's my guy.
Omega is the
Uh,
man. I love
like
Omega.
he's
Yeah.
a fellow Kenny, so I cheer for him. Because of that alone, and plus he's we're starting to see New Japan version of Omega because when he
Hmm.
started in AEW, he was just being a team player. Like you see him here and there, but he wasn't like getting big opportunities. until last year when he beat Moxley and won the
Yep.
AEW World Title. And we really started to see him took off, and then he won the Impact World Titles. Like he's collecting belts left and right, and
He's
it's
dripping. That
yeah,
man's
he's
dripping right
dripping.
now for sure.
So he's on cloud nine. As a matter of fact, he's defending the Impact World Title tonight, and it's going to be at the Dallas place. And he's going up against Moose, and that's going to be quite a match as well. Check out the Failsafe. Their website is wearethefailsafe.com. You can check out tour, music, old music, new music. All the social media platforms is on there, and all the digital music platforms is on there as well. Until I Break is the latest single. It's out right now on all the platforms. Us Against the World is coming 10 days from now, June the 22nd. That's 3 days before my birthday, by the way. So
Oh, well, happy
I'll
early
take
birthday.
I will take this release as an early birthday gift. I'll be glued midnight to hear this song. So there's merch, there's the platforms, there's the music. Go check out the Fail Safe, and they're gonna be doing some more incredible things. Getting into the summer for sure. So it was great
Yep,
chatting
yep.
with
We're
you,
working
man.
on
Great
likewise,
chat.
and thank you so much for the opportunity to be on your show and to just be introduced to a new audience and hopefully create a new fan or two. Like that to us means the
Yeah.
world. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Tell your bandmates I said hello, and
Will
who
do.
knows? And hopefully y'all make a trip down here to Kentucky one of these days, and y'all perform. I
Oh, I'd love to.
will
Yeah.
I will put this out there. As of yesterday, mask mandate has been lifted, and the remaining capacity restrictions has been lifted. So Kentucky,
Good.
we are restriction free.
Nice.
So just putting it out there. If y'all start the booking more shows for the summer and the fall, I'm just putting it out there. Trying to do some
I feel
recruiting
you.
here.
No, I'd love to get out there. We actually drove through Kentucky on our last tour,
Yeah,
and I was kind of like, man, I really want to play here, just because I don't know. I thought it was just a cool city. The few stops that we had, everyone was incredibly nice. I was like, man, I really want to play a show here. So no, it's definitely on our radar. Now that the mandates are being lifted and
yeah,
occupancy is up, like no, it's just a matter of when. It's not will
yeah,
we? It's like yeah, we're gonna. It's just a matter of when.
yeah. Absolutely, man. You take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe, and we'll
Likewise,
try to get it soon.
sounds good, man. Thank you so much again, and yeah, we'll talk soon. I'm sure.
Yes, sir. You have a good night.
I take care.
All right, bye bye.